like even Shabbat, I would argue, is more a class issue than a religious issue. And it's been a class issue since we left Egypt.
What do you mean?
I mean that it was a revolutionary idea that everyone should have a day of rest after 6 days of work, right? We in Egypt just worked. We didn't have a day of rest, right? We just worked and worked and worked until we died. That's what humanity was doing. We came up with this revolutionary idea that, okay, work for 6 days, and then there's going to be a day of rest, right? Now, all the Israelis who cry about public transportation and shopping on Shabbat are really talking about the needs of a certain class, but they're not thinking about the person who has to drive a bus on the one day a week that their children are home from school. And they're not thinking about the person who has to work retail at the mall the one day their kids are home from school. Meaning that Shabbat is a class issue. Now one could say, oh, but maybe we'll have overtime, or maybe people will make time and a half, as they do if they work a Jewish holiday, right? If somebody works on Yom Ha'atzmaut or Purim, right, they get time and a half. But I don't think we should be economically incentivizing people to work on Shabbat when that's the day their kids are home from school. I think it's okay for the country to shut down and say, this is our identity, this is who we are. I don't know if this is true, but I was told that a lot of the funding for the movement that's trying to open things up on Shabbat and have public transportation and shopping and everything, a lot of that funding, I heard, comes from foreign tech companies that don't understand or don't want to allow the society to shut down, one day a week. One day a week, people aren't doing Google searches. One day a week, people lose money. I mean, these companies lose money because the tech economy is one that doesn't make space for a day of rest. So I think we need to understand this is part of our culture, part of our identity, and it's fair and it's just, and people can do whatever they want in their homes, on Shabbat. If people want to do a Google search, that's up to them. Like, we don't have to shut down the internet in people's homes. But I think anything that would cause somebody to have to work or somebody to even be tempted to work because of the economic incentives or whatever, I think we don't need that.
I was up until January, I was working in Magen David Adom. I was an ambulance driver. And so I had mishmarot on Shabbat, and I absolutely hated it. It totally wasn't worth the money at all. I mean, it was like they try to make it an incentive, working on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Shabbos, all of these, you get a lot of extra money. I personally did not feel that it was beneficial. And I just started recently keeping Shabbat, not driving or not using my phone. And I feel like a different person. It's been really, really special for me not to do it.
Today, I think all of humanity today would really benefit from a day off from their devices.
For sure.
Right? I think that's just
so unnatural.
Right. And okay, so we're all, even those of us who celebrate Shabbat are usually attached to our phones the other 6 days of the week. But it's so healthy and it's so liberating to be able to shut it off for 25 hours.
Are you addicted to your phone?
I don't know. My wife says I am. I don't know if I'm addicted to my phone. I think I use my phone for work. I'm using
so social work. Workaholic? Is that what it is?
That might be because my work is really my purpose in this world.